So, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm really tired. I'm really tired. Huh? And that's all relative, because I'm usually really tired, and I feel really tired all the time. But that's why I'm doing this, is because instead of focusing on being really tired all the time, I want to choose to focus on all the lovely times that I've had in my life so far. And so that's why I'm doing this whole remembering thing. And so I was thinking, my days are usually spent doing as little as possible because I'm so tired so often. And then I was thinking, what was the best, longest day I've ever had? And this is the one that came to mind. So, this was 2 years ago? I think it was 2 years ago, first couple of days of June, I think. It was a Sunday. The day before, I had completely moved out of my dorm room, and this friend of mine invited me to stay at her house for a couple of days, and then let me not hang out with her for almost an entire day. She was great. Well, the entire day that I didn't hang out with her started with waking up in this lovely house that overlooks Anaheim, and getting ready, and then being picked up by one of my dear friend's parents. Well, it was him and his parents. And first we drive like 25 minutes or something like that to go pick up another friend. And we actually go in and she's still asleep. So we leave her because she's not ready to come with us, and then we drive another ways down the road to someone's house, and we have house church, which was awesome. God really showed up in a really fun way. The coolest part was, instead of having a lesson prepared, we all sat and listened and went, Jesus, what do you want to tell us? And then we sat and listened, and then people are like flipping through the Bibles and kind of just sitting and listening, and then I don't remember who started it, but we all kind of popcorned, started to speak out the things that were impressed on our hearts and our minds, and they all like flowed, like there was a consistency. Oh, they're so cool. You can't plan these things. And we had breakfast together. That was before we had breakfast, and then we moved into the church part of house church. And then after that, talking and soaking in and praying and worshiping, then we headed on, and we went to the airport because we were picking up his mom's luggage. Hadn't arrived when she arrived from wherever she was. So, the whole time we're just driving around, and my friend and I are talking, and his parents, and getting to know them and engaged with them, and I've just spent a huge time worshiping, like having a whole worshipful time with them. I'm in the car, and we're talking about lots of good things, and I remember we were talking about Vineyard, and my family, like, being a part of Vineyard. And then we drive to his house, and his house has another, they're up on a hill, and they overlook, I don't even know what part of California they overlook. Oh my gosh, so lovely. And we move out a table outside from inside, and we clean it off, and we have this meal, and then then we went over to another person's house and had like another house churchy kind of something over at someone else's house. Oh my gosh, they had the most gorgeous house ever, and this whole garden that went up this hill thing, and So we're like walking up it and talking about who knows what, and then I'm getting to know the other people, and there was a Messianic Jewish couple who were super cool, so I was talking with them, and then we sit at this luxurious dining table. It was so gorgeous. And I get to sit there and just soak in. They're like 4 to 5 couples, older, probably like at my parents' age, which isn't old, it's just older. And the man of the house gave me a book by Francis Chan, and gave my friend another book, and we just spent this gorgeous, lovely time talking. And then I started to get tired, just normally tired. And so I asked the woman of the house, I was like, can I just lie down on one of your couches? And she's like, sure. So she goes and takes me over and gives me a blanket, and I go and lie down. And I didn't actually fall asleep. Well, sort of. I like dozed in and out. But I could still hear just the quiet murmur, bubbly of the conversation still going on around me. And I think I had just dozed off when my friend, who I was with the whole time, woke me up and was like, hey, we're leaving. I'm like, okay. And so I say bye, and we get in the car, and I'm just like, And then we go back to his house. And he and I plan out, like, this huge shift and way of doing culture on college campuses. I still have it all written down, and really cool, just discussing a huge thing on both of our hearts. So that was cool. So it's been this huge, lovely time sitting and talking in this family room, and then we drive, and we park, and we get out, and we hear this music. And it was so good. And we follow, like, to the house that has the music, and we hear it, and it's definitely outside. I don't know what inspired me to just feel totally comfortable doing it, but I did. I just opened up the fence and walked through, and there are 25 or so of gorgeous, beautiful, lovely people all worshiping, and we just melted into the whole fragrance of worship that was going on, and joined our brothers and sisters and just had a ball. Oh my gosh, it was so good. And we were there for hours, and talking, and conversations began, and prayer, people were praying, and people were just having so much fun, roasting marshmallows over this campfire pit, inside, eating and lounging and talking and napping, and this whole glorious, beautiful kaleidoscope of relational people. And by the time I'm going, oh my gosh, this is so good, and dancing in and throughout different conversations and just milking it all up. And finally, I'm going to go home with the girl who I didn't hang out with the whole day, who I'm staying with. And her and I go home, and we slip into the house and slip back into her room and go to sleep. I mean, it was one of the most exceptional days I've ever had in my entire life. Yeah. So, that's my good memory to share with you. And it's a reminder of, even though we feel tired, we feel like we can't do things in this season, or we feel limited, or like we're unable to do things, because that's what I feel like right now. That's not who we are, and that's not life as it always is, and that's not what will always be either. Seasons are seasons because they're seasons, which means things have time periods. Things have times when they are, and then they change. So be encouraged. I think that's it.